0.33% for the Nifty 50, and in fact the broader markets are doing better at this juncture. You have the mid-cap index that's up about 0.5%, and you have the small-cap 250 index, which is up over 1% at this point, as a result of which you will see that the market breadth is tilted in favor of the advances. It's not such a wide change, or volatility is not as stark as it was in yesterday's day of trade, where you saw cuts of 1% for the benchmark indices at one point of time, and then a recovery towards the later part of the session. Let's see how that pans out through the day though. And the sectoral picture will give you a bit of a sense as to how the breadth is, and you'll see that most of the sectors are trading in the green, with the metal index gaining the most ground, up about 1.5% at this juncture, and in fact are very close to the high point of the day. The realty index not too far behind, up about 1.5% as well. The likes of auto as well as media, energy, all doing reasonably well. The underperformers in trade are the pharma index as well as the IT index and the FMCG index. Now, there are several stocks that are moving and buzzing in trade today. I will point out a few. Among them, you have the shipbuilders that are doing incredibly well. You have Mazagon Shipbuilders, Cochin Shipyard, which is up about 8%, Mazagon, which is doing quite well, Garden Reach, which is up and about in trade today as well. And then you have a logistic player in the form of G Shipping that is also doing quite well. Now, there are a few names like that. One stock, however, that is underperforming in trade today is UPL. It had quite a start to the trading week, but it is losing quite a bit of ground today, down about 5.5%, and that seemingly has to do with the commentary following the Q4 results. Varsha is joining in to tell you about why the street was upset with the guidance that was provided by the management for the current financial year. Varsha, what did they say that the street did not like?
Good morning, Alex. So as you rightly said, yesterday UPL posted their results, and post which the stock was up almost 7%, because sequentially, if you see, numbers were good. But in the con call, we'll see what were the highlights of the con call, post which we have seen this pressure on the stock. First, just a little bit overview that fourth quarter and EBITDA continued to be impacted year on year by pricing challenge, excess returns and unfavorable weather. Now, contribution margins were also down marginally, adjusted for the short-term impact of high cost inventory liquidation and higher rebates of the channel. Now, the highlights of the con call were, first is the pricing in first quarter FY25 will be a challenge according to management in the post-patent market, as the base quarter was going through declining prices, and this will impact contribution margin. Then the management indicated a weak H1 FY25 due to high base, and Chinese agrochemical prices have stabilized and are expected to remain at the current level for a couple of quarters. However, the stabilized prices are still at lower levels. Now, the management expects normalization of crop protection business largely in H2 FY25, with a turnaround expected in North America, Brazil and India. And the management has guided for 4 to 8% of revenue growth in FY25, with absolute EBITDA growth of over 50% and CFO, that is cash flow generation, of 300 to 400 million US dollars. But there could be loss in first quarter of FY25 and EBITDA decline of year on year, with margin contraction year on year, and second half, that is H2 FY25, will be much better according to management. Now, the company is yet to see a business recovery in FY25 with following priorities. First is they'll focus on margins improvement versus volume through product mix and SKU rationalization, and they're going to also launch new product launches. So these are the few highlights post which we are seeing pressure on the stock as of today.
Right. Thank you, Varsha, for that. On that note, let me introduce you to the guests for today. We have Ashish Maheshwari, Director at Arihant Capital Market, joining in, along with Swati Hotkar, Senior Equity Technical Analyst at Nirmal Bang. Welcome to both of you, and thanks for joining in. Ashish, I'm going to come to you first on UPL. You heard Varsha talk about the outlook. Now, after the results, we saw some positivity in the markets, but post-outlook, after the commentary, it seems like the street isn't liking it, and even though they've given a revenue growth of 4 to 8%, but pricing will remain an issue going forward. How are you viewing the counter, and what's the long-term view on UPL?
Yes, good morning to you and viewers. As far as UPL is concerned, yesterday post announcement of result, we saw a spike in stock price because it appeared that numbers are our expectation that they return to profit against expected big loss. But I think 2 3 points which are worrying the street is still first their debt level has gone up by almost $500 million, which is worrying the market. Then second, again, the right issue is around the corner. So some and so as a right issue will come at a lower price. So this will be a negative for existing shareholders for UPL to make fresh positions. And third is as the China is having quite over capacity in this particular sector, so price erosion will continue. And whatever the inventory losses are going to happen, this again UPL may have to bear in coming quarters. So maybe this return into green was one of kind of phenomena, and next quarter onwards, again you are going to see pressure as far as the bottom line is concerned, which is worrying the market. So this is the reason fall in the stock price since morning, and I'm expecting same pressure will continue in future also.
Okay, so what is your advice with regard to UPL? At some point, do you think that it will turn, and therefore would you suggest that if you have a long enough time frame, this is the stock to buy, or in the space would you pick something else? Because if there's one space, Ashish, that the street seems to be shying away from, it is the agrochemicals and some of the chemical names.
Yes, because again, whatever the party was there as far as their selling price was concerned, because of the China's plants were closed for in that particular time period, where all these companies minted money, and that party is now over. So this is the reason why market is not giving a any thumbs up for any company results. We have seen specialty chemical players like Anupam Rasayan hitting 52-week low even at this point of time. So this sector is slightly out of investor fancy, and in my view, this trend will continue because I'm not expecting realizations are going to improve in haste, and companies are going to report any significant growth.
Okay, fair point. All right, so it's an avoid. Let's kickstart the query segment. You see the number on your screen. That is where you can send a WhatsApp to us. We are also live on all of our social media platforms. And so you can send us a question in the comment section, particularly on the YouTube live chat. Now, the first question is coming from Edwin. He's bought 7,500 shares of Yes Bank at a price of 25.42. The stock is currently hovering around the 22 rupee mark. Now, he hasn't specified his time frame, and he said that I should choose for him. He's tuning in from Kalina. Ashish, I'll come to you on the fundamentals, because ultimately he's not specified a time frame. Would you hold on to this?
So as Yes Bank is concerned, after the announcement of their results, we have seen a lot of weakness. In fact, Carlyle Group has also sold almost their 2% stake in the bank, and which will keep on creating pressure as far as stock prices are concerned. So my view is to avoid Yes Bank at this price point, and instead of this, look at more fundamentally strong PSU banks.
All right. The next counter we're talking about is Ashok Leyland. This one's from Satya. They want to know if it's a good time to buy the counter. Swati, if you can give us some levels where it'd be ideal to buy this counter. It currently is up about over 1%.
Yes, first of all, good morning to all of you. Definitely, the Ashok Leyland looks really good on the technical front. The stock is in the formation of the flat pattern, and it is on the formation of a body of that pattern. I believe it's definitely at current market price also the client can take a long positions. Breakout level comes to at around 205. Once it manages to give a breakout, I believe that the 220, 230 levels can be seen very soon for a short-term period, and for the longer-term horizon, at least 260 to 270 levels can be seen. So at the current market price also, he can take at least 20-30% of positions. And if you are getting any dips towards to 190, one can add on. Downside, it has a very good support at around 180. So between that level, you can keep a stop loss for immediate target of 240 levels.
Swati, I'm coming back to you, Nazara Tech, and this is a question coming from Paramjeet. He's writing in from New Delhi. He's got 100 shares that he's bought at levels of 800, I believe. Let's pull up the chart and see where it's currently trading. and in fact it is at 611.75 or thereabouts. He's asking if we should average his buy price at the current juncture.
As of now, stock is under the correction mode, and the RSI, such as the relative strength index, is showing that the stock is going to enter into the oversold zone itself, and probably it will find a support between 500 to 550 level. So that range level will act as a very good level for the average it out. I will suggest to hold on for a few more time. Let the stock enter below the 550 level, so you can average it out. That will be the good level. Upside momentum can be seen if the stock manages to give the breakout of 700. So that level will act as a crucial reversal level. So if it's break that level, then we can witness some pullback rally towards at least 800 to 900 levels on the higher side. So I will suggest to wait for a few more trading sessions to average it out. Once the stock enters below 550 levels, then definitely you can take a long position.
All right. Next counter we're talking about is Adani Ports. This one's from Geeta, who's writing in from Mumbai. This is from a longer term perspective, from 5 to 7 years. Ashish, would you suggest buying Adani Ports? The counter has already given returns of about 91% in the last 1 year. Do you see more upside from a longer term perspective, obviously?
Yes, certainly. After a correction up to almost 1260 mark, we have seen a good run up in Adani Port of late, and this is again a stock which is again a proxy play to the port and infrastructure story. So as far as the profitability is concerned, I'm not expecting any downside as far as the profitability is concerned in next few years, because the way again trade volumes are going up. Last year we did almost $800 billion of exports, and Adani is number one port player into India now. So they will continue to do well. My target price for this stock for next 6 months will be 1400 plus.
Just the standard disclaimer, this is Adani Ports that we spoke about. You're watching NDTV Profit, which is part of the NDTV group, which in turn is owned by the Adani Group. Let's talk about Thomas's query.
नियम का पालन करते हुए प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जिलाधिकारी कार्यालय में हाथ जोड़ने के बाद अब वो धीरे-धीरे
Visuals live from Varanasi, where the Prime Minister is making his way to file his nomination, and he was in fact in the city earlier in the day along the banks of the river, where he was paying his respects and offering prayers. This is, of course, midway through the general elections. 4 phases currently having gotten completed. The last one, of course, was completed yesterday. The voter turnout ending very close to that 67% mark. Quite a bit still left to cover, just about 370 odd seats having been accounted for, and the remainder of the 543 still to go. Of course, the next phase, the 5th phase of the general election, will take place on the 20th of May. This is something that will be watched very closely, particularly because certain urban centers are going to be covered, not least of which is going to be Mumbai. But of course, live visuals, we'll get you more details over the course of the day. The Prime Minister filing his nominations for the seat of Varanasi, where he has won twice in a row from. Let's take the next question. We're back to the query segment on Ask Profit, where we're talking about Zomato. And this is a stock that has been in focus on account of earnings and several other developments, but it's a short-term question. And this is a question coming from Thomas, who's writing in from Kerala. Swati, on the charts, would you suggest a fresh entry at this point?
Alex, I will suggest to just hold on for some more time because the technical chart on a daily chart indicates that a negative divergence, which means that we might witness some sort of a corrections or some sort of a profit bookings at the higher levels. From the last two trading session, we are witnessing a very strong pressure at the level of 200 levels, and as of now, it has managed to maintain the support of the cluster support levels of 182. Once the stocks gives the breakdown of 182 layer, more selling pressure is likely to be intensified, which might take a stocks towards to 175 to 180. So I will suggest to hold on. If the stocks comes nearby 175 levels, then one can take a long positions, not at the current market price. Just hold on for a few more trading sessions.
All right. The next counter we're talking about is Finolex Cables. This one's from Samir, and now, okay, the buying price here is 249 rupees. The share is currently trading over 1,000 rupees. Swati, this one's for you. They want to know key levels on this counter. There's a
Sorry, I need to interrupt. This is Finolex Industries that we're talking about. So
all right.
So it's a different stock.
Okay, Finolex Industries, if you can pull that up, yeah. It's about 8% higher today, closing trade to 292 rupees a share and bought at 249. So slightly, a bit of a profit there, Swati. What's the short-term view on this, and if there's a possible target that you have on this particular counter?
Yes, the stock is really doing very good on the technical front from the monthly chart as well as the weekly chart. This year, from the start of this itself, we have seen a very spectacular rally in this particular counter. Today, the stock is almost up by 8%. I believe such kind of a rally is likely to be extended towards at least 320 to 340 levels. Today, also the stock managed to take a new all-time high, which has been quoted at around 295 levels. I would suggest to hold on, if possible, maintain the strict stop loss or say the profit stop loss of 270 and carry your long positions for immediate target of 340. The view is definitely positive on this particular counter.
With that, we have to slip into a very quick break. Ashish, Swati, do stay with us. Viewers, will be back on the other side and take more of your questions.
Welcome back. You're tuned into Ask Profit on NDTV Profit. Let's dive into the queries again. This one's, we're talking about Z now, and this one's from Bala. They say they've already bought in the shares and at a price of 292 rupees, and it's currently way below that price. 130 rupees. It's currently trading at up about 0.8%. Ashish, from a longer term perspective, something like a Z where there's a considerable difference in the buy price versus the price that it's currently trading at. What would you suggest our viewer to do with this counter?
I don't have any hope as far as Z is concerned that you are going to get back to your purchase price, because whatever the events were there related to merger with Sony Entertainment Network, those are not there now. So, and Z on a standalone basis will find it really difficult going forward. So, there is a reason why this stock has corrected quite a bit. So, instead of this, I'll suggest that you buy in same sector network 18 stock, which is doing much better and can at least I'm having a price target of 120 in network 18 in 12 months time period. So at least 50% of loss can be recovered there.
Let's talk about Darshan. Darshan's question. Darshan's writing in from Surat in Gujarat, and it's a two-part question. Swati, I'll come to you on this one. He's looking for an option strategy to trade in the Nifty 50. It's quite brave, I think, to be venturing into that, and I hope he's only using it as a hedge. But what would you suggest as a strategy right now? And is there a stock that you can suggest that he can buy right now? He's got 25,000 rupees that he can invest immediately.
See, Alex, being a technical analyst, I can't give a derivative strategy. That is not my forte, so I'm really sorry on that part. But definitely stock specific, I can give an idea to take a buy call, such as one idea pick is a Motherson Sumi. This particular counter is really doing very well at the current market price. It's currently trading at 127. Upside, I believe at least 150 to 160 levels can be seen. So for the short term period, definitely one can go for a long position in this particular counter. Another interesting stock is Balkrishna Industry. After so much of a long period of a time of a fall, almost after 3 to 4 months, the stock has surpasses its 200-day moving average, and it's just trading above that level with a decent volume. The price is also moving ahead. So I believe that currently the stock is trading at 2510 levels. Upside at least 2700 to 2800 levels can be seen for a short-term period duration. So one can take a long position at the current market price, or if you are getting any dips towards 2400, one can add on. 2350 will be the good support level, so that can be acted as a stop loss for immediate target of 2700. So this will be the two important picks for a trading perspective for a short-term period as such.
All right. The next counter we're talking about is Naveen Fluorine. This one's from Arun from Chennai. They bought the counter at a price of 3,500 rupees. It's currently trading below that price. Ashish, we saw the fourth quarter results. Not too good, and we've seen the stock correct a little bit after that as well. From a longer term perspective, what's your view on the counter?
See, this is again a stock we have seen tumbling from almost 5,000 rupees to 3,000 rupees. And in my view, whatever the euphoria was there related to all this specialty chemical or floral stock like SRF, Naveen Fluorine is also getting over. Even you rightly said, even last quarter numbers, we have seen quarter over quarter degrowth in Naveen Fluorine. So my suggestion will be to exit Naveen Fluorine on certain rise. So stock has moved up today, but I'm expecting 3,500 level. You should exit from Naveen Fluorine.
All right. We got Vinod's question next, and he's asking about JFS. Yeah, Geo Financial Services, and he's wondering whether or not to buy it at the current market price. It has done incredibly well in 2024, Swati. The question is, how much further can it go?
See, the stock has already given a very good smart rally from almost 230 to 400 levels, and now it's on the correction mode, or we can say the price correction can be seen in this particular counter. But if you're having any long positions at the lower levels, one can definitely hold on. Downside, it has a very good support of 330 levels. So as long as stock sustains above that level, definitely again we will witness some pullback rally towards at least 380 to 400 levels. So the overall view for a longer term horizon is definitely positive, but one should keep a strict stop loss and carry your long positions.
All right. Now, unfortunately, we're completely out of time on this edition of Ask Profit. Thank you so much, Ashish and Swati, for joining in and for answering so many questions for us. Viewers, thanks for tuning in today. And if you were not able to take your questions today, we'll definitely try and take them tomorrow. But don't go anywhere. We have lots more lined up for you on NDTV Profit.